I mean, you can always find areas we can get better, whether it's pad level, whether it's a running back maybe running through, splitting tacklers. So you're always looking, for improvement. We're looking from week 1 to week 2. Did we see it? Yeah, we focused on pad level, blocking, tackling, getting off blocks, and we're able to see that. I told you our young men today, that sense of urgency on Tuesdays, and every Tuesday's not going to change from here on out, but the sense of urgency that this Tuesday had to be better than last week's Tuesday, and that's got it how it's going to go the rest of the year, and to see that improvement. So to be able to look at it in practice, be able to correct it, and then on, Saturday, practice execution becomes game reality, but we're certainly not where we need to be. And we went out today to make sure that we got better. And, I thought we had a great Tuesday practice. We got to come back with a great Wednesday practice. So, running the ball, you never know. We had more explosives than we normally have. And, we got some guys that are fast and strong, and, you take what you can get. And there's games where we're going to need to pass. There's going to be games where it's going to be a mix of run and pass, and you go in with a plan, but you kind of stick with what's working. Yeah, no question. Those young guys, they're, biting at the chomp, to get carries, but you only play with one football. There's only so many guys you can distribute that one football to. So, they get the reps in practice. We see what they can do in practice. And, we try to tell them success is preparing for an opportunity. And when that opportunity comes, you better be ready. You better not go in there and have a missed assignment. You better not go in there and go the wrong way. So when those opportunities come and we have trust in you, that ball is the most important thing in this football program. And can you take care of that football too? Ball security. Can you protect the quarterback on pass protection? So, all those, but I really we said that in the summer. In the spring, I was waiting for it. I thought in camp we saw it emerge, and I was excited to see those young guys on Saturday get in there and make some plays.
In the run game, the added dimension of being able to, whether it's both scrambling or design runs for him, as well as, we've seen what Tyson can do last couple weeks, to see what Ethan can do. And, obviously Jaden had a nice touchdown run, and Steph carries, carries. How do each of those guys kind of skill sets complement each other, and how are they kind of, different from one another?
Yeah, I think they're different. Ethan's, probably a little bit more, leaner, skinnier, maybe a tad faster than Tyshawn. Tyshawn's more of that inside the box, 220 pounds. And, and then the other two, they're just quick little scat backs, that can all catch the ball too. We talk about receivers, but, running backs need to be able to catch the ball out of the backfield too. So seeing that, but, it all starts with the offensive line. And, we have a lot of veterans back there, and we challenge them to get better. They get better this week than they were this past Saturday. And we got tight ends, Colt Seacrest didn't play last week, he'll play this week, but Brandon Serrano and Austin Bray, those guys are the ones, that go unnoticed. Anytime there's usually a big run, they're probably at the point of attack, whether they're kicking out someone or climbing up to the second level, to free. And I still believe our wide receivers, they won't get on the field unless they can block. And, we show a clip every Sunday, because talk is cheap, that if you're tough, you can block. Our toughness is measured by how our wide receivers block. So when you see explosives, I truly believe that's wide receivers also blocking downfield and not allowing that secondary run support to get in there.
What do you hope to see from the defense after they gave up some explosives?
Keep getting better. We knew going in, it's a work in progress, but I love it. It's like you got pieces to the puzzle. And, what's that old saying? I think that, what was that show, Game of Thrones, winter is coming. We know that. Our guys have played in this league, winter's. So, for us, it's about finding young guys that we got to get developed, and trying to find them reps, trying to work them in practice, trying to play a lot of defensive linemen. How many plays can they play at full out effort? You know, if you can give us three, give us three. But I don't want to see somebody on the field that's not giving us the effort, the pad level, the physicality. And, you know, there was glimpses on Saturday where I saw guys flying around to the football. And we just got to keep getting better in those areas. We flipped some guys around and, you know, we got to get some guys, too, healthy and back in. You know, DeJuan Martin didn't play last week. He's going to play this week. Karsten Marshall hasn't played, but, you know, we're getting him back in the fold, hopefully, you know, by the time we get into league play there at linebacker, too.
Max, you made the point that you know, the staff had given them kind of the history of Duquesne and how the scores have gone in previous games. But also made mention of the fact that, hey, this team is maybe looking for some payback for what happened in the playoffs last year and the level of competition they played for the first 2 weeks. They're not going to cut it.
Yeah.
So is that part of the message with these guys as well?
They've won a lot more conference championships than the Penguins have the past 15 years. Coach Schmidt's been there 20 years. I think he has 10 championships. You know, they go to the playoffs. They know how to win. He does a tremendous job. You know, got tough kids that fight. Yeah, their first 2 games every year, you know, I don't know if I'd want to go on the road and go to Toledo or go on the road, go to Boston College. You know, they're playing the best of the best in the MAC and one of the best teams in the ACC. And those games, I know everyone looks at the final score, but when I watch a continuous copy, and I'm watching them against Toledo, and, you know, they fumble a kickoff return first half. You know, they fumble on the 30 coming out in the first half, but they still have a chance to close the gap 21-14 there before the end of the half. So those games are closer, just like our Villanova. We're down 24-3. And then you get to the second half, how are you going to respond? Well, when you're playing a game like Toledo, they're just going to keep bringing it on. They got great depth. You know, so again, Duquesne has played the competition. They know how to play here in the Ice Castle. And those scores we show, guess what? Those games were a lot closer than what the end of the game showed. And so you got to get ready to fight. You know, and the one thing you look at college football, and we share on Sundays, look how hard it is to win. You know, when you look at, you know, Kent State has 85 scholarships, okay, and they lose to St. Francis. You know, Northern Illinois beats a Notre Dame. And Dana, you always say, well, no, every week you got to start back at neutral. You got to focus on yourself, and you got to get the mindset ready to play football. And that's the challenge of going through a 12-game schedule. And I told them, we get to Sunday, win or lose. You got to get that loss off you after Villanova. Guess what? We're getting back to work, and we're going to get better. You get a win, guess what? You're going to get that off your mind. You're not going to read social media. You know, people want to read how good you are, not here, but, you know, obviously at other places, and you start believing it. You got to find a way to get 18 to 24-year-olds to believe that it's what you do in practice, that practice execution becomes game reality. And that's what I jump out of bed and sprint every morning, getting the opportunity to see this team grow each and every week, knowing that there's going to be success, there's going to be adversity, and you better be ready to handle either or.
Coach, is that where the advantage of not having an off week comes into play? Where if you have a loss, okay, now you've got to think about that loss for an entire week while you're not playing.
Yeah.
Is that come into play as an advantage?
You know, I'm 0 for 4 on bye weeks, coming off bye week. So, you know, probably good thing we don't have one, you know, our team. You know, for me, it's routine, guys. You know what your Monday's going to be. You know what your Sunday's going to be like. You know what your Monday's going to be like. You passing ships at night with your families. You know how the week's going to go. You get into a routine like a Tuesday practice. You know, now we get off the field, we get to watch practice film for the next 3 hours. And after that, we get the game plan, red zone, and third down. And it's the same every Tuesday and then Wednesday. So, you know, I'm a creature of habit, just like a football game, you know. And so I like the fact, you know, now we got to be smart. How do you take care of bodies? You got to sleep, you got to eat, you got to go to rehab, prehab. Even if you're not hurt, you got to take care of your bodies. So for me, it's about preaching those and maybe adjusting a little bit as you go through the season to make sure, knowing you're not going to get any rest, how can our kids be ready to play each and every Saturday?
Like, how has the technology in the first 2 games of having the iPads, you know, on the field helped?
it gives you an opportunity to, you get a young man coming off, and sometimes you ask them, what did you see? And they're not telling us exactly what they see, but now we can see what they see, or they make a mistake. And no, don't, before they can, maybe say, well, this, well, no. And then you're correcting it Sunday. You can correct it right there in the moment. So I think those things help you get ready for the next series, which means you got to be more multiple. I mean, teams can make adjustments to you by